Welcome back. We're here at the Art Fair 2025. Melissa Bonnie from CTN, and we are back. And we are talking with the folks today, the artists, the fairgoers, the vendors. People are lining up. It's a beautiful day, not too hot, no rain. So we're excited. We've got a lot to cover today. So come with us.
It's a beautiful, breezy Thursday here at the Ann Arbor Art Fair. We're here with Dan Neff, a glass artist that really, when you walk by his work, you don't even know what's going to happen until you get close up. Dan, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so this is a type of glass blowing that I've been doing for over 20 years, and it's a little different than traditional glass blowing. So I use the flame of a torch that's about 5,000 degrees, and I melt clear and colored rods of glass, and it has a higher refractive index, so it's much more optically true, and I get a lot of inspiration from outer space.
Yeah, I know. Well, first of all, when I was over there and walking up, I could not tell what was actually happening. And then when you get up close to these things and you look at them, you're like, this is the planets. There's planets in here. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's like a whole little universe all in one sphere of glass. And a lot of folks think they are paperweights, but paperweights typically have a flat spot. And so these are 360-degree spheres, which allows me to then do artwork on the backside as well. So it's this bonus feature, and it's a lot of fun reverse engineering what's all going to go into one sphere of glass.
That's so interesting that you have to think about it in a reverse engineering way because it makes your mind do things that you don't even think your mind's capable of doing.
Totally. Yeah, there's so much planning that goes into each piece, and that's really why I love making these. They take 1 hour per inch in diameter, nonstop spinning that glass in a 5,000 degree flame. And so I need all my material ready. I need to know what colors, what techniques, get it all ready. Because these larger ones, they're 4 to 6 hours straight. And that's if it goes well. If there's complications, it might be 7 or 8 hours, and you stick with it till you get it. So I love that challenge of making sure I'm prepared, thinking about all the steps, have enough of each material, and hoping I execute it according to the plan in my mind.
So when you first started out as an artist, were you just a glass blower or were you doing other things first?
I never thought of myself as an artist because I couldn't draw. I was a musician, and then I found glass, and it was this medium that I really grasped. And over time, I realized it was mainly because it was three-dimensional, like 2D art. My brain doesn't process things that way. 3D art, I can totally figure it out because it's kind of like building. So I've always grown up around the trades, doing different building things, and so glass, again, you start with your foundation, and you just keep building up on that. And so it was just a really fun process to transfer my passion from music into something that was a visual art.
It's crazy too because glass blowing to me, I actually went to school for fine art, but I never you have to like do every medium, but you never do glass blowing because that is like a very specific and sort of dangerous so it's interesting to me that I've tried all these different arts, but I've never tried glass blowing. And then you were someone that just basically jumped into glass blowing.
Yeah, no degree in art or anything like that, and found it when I was 17 and just started kind of dabbling in it. And then once I finished college, realized I had already worked harder and longer to learn glass than I did for my degree. So I said, well, I'm going to try this first, and if it doesn't work, I'll use my degree. But I use a lot of my degree in the education side of things, though, too. I went for environmental education, and I love teaching about what I do. So even though it's not environmental, education, it's glass.
But it is about the planets and stuff.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely. Whatever their environments are out there. And there's just so much variation in the process that I love being able to refine it and continue refining over and over and over. And I think that's a really interesting point you bring up about trying a little bit of everything when you get a BFA or an MFA. And you have your specialty usually, but I found a lot of art programs don't always allow for the amount of time needed to really get the repetition in of what it takes to do a fine craft like this.
Well, can you talk about how you actually get these little miniature planets inside of a bowl like that? It almost looks impossible to me.
Yeah. So going back again to the reverse engineering, so I start with those stones. They're opals, and that's one of the only stones that works with the Pyrex glass that I'm using. And so I start with that stone, I encase it in glass, and then layer more clear glass around it to kind of build that core, and then keep layering out from that center point, and then typically using precious metals to create the colored swirls surrounding those stones.
I just love it's like you're taking me into a miniature environment that you would just never expect. That's the part that's like really I'm like looking at can I pick this piece
Yeah,
up? Yes.
absolutely.
So like you're looking at this piece, and I don't know if the cameraman can get this, but it's like it just keeps going. It's like a black hole. It just keeps going. It's amazing. The optical illusion aspect of it is really fascinating to me.
Yeah, that's what is so great about Pyrex glass is it just lends itself well to magnifying those illusions. So because I use Pyrex, it has a higher refractive index and it's very optically true. Not quite as much as, lead crystal, but it's a close second. And that's one thing that really sets my work apart is the optical clarity in this glass compared to traditional blown glass.
What about like these pieces? Are these like under the sea kind of? That's where your inspiration's coming for that?
Yeah, absolutely. So outer space is the main influence, but so is underwater. And these are actually done in the traditional glass blowing sense, so out of a furnace. And we won't be able to see it on the camera, but if you look really closely, some of these you'll see little squiggles in the clear glass, and that's that optical difference that I'm talking about. So at a glance, it just looks like clear glass, but when you start looking closer, you'll see all the little layers from dunking it in the furnace, whereas all of the ones I make with Pyrex, that was one piece of clear Pyrex glass rod that creates the entire lens.
I do actually find it very interesting that your inspiration is sort of these mysteries of life, like the sea, the ocean. Nobody knows what goes on in the ocean.
Right.
Space, we know some, but it's definitely a mystery,
Totally. And it was just kind of happenstance that those are two big influences of mine. But again, to your point, we know so little about both of those areas, and we're always learning more things after, hundreds and hundreds or even thousands of years of, investigating them. So it's a pretty cool spot to take inspiration from. The James Webb Telescope has been a great source of new inspiration for my outer space themed pieces.
Do you have a website?
I do. It is nafglass.com, nafglass.com, and you can see my work there. And then I also have an all glass art gallery, and so that'll actually take you linked right up to my whole gallery page with about 40 other glass artists from around the country that we feature in our gallery.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Dan.
Yeah, thank you.
Everyone needs to come out to the Summer Art Fair and really check out Dan's work because you can't believe it until you see it. Cranbrook Park is a 17-acre park nestled within several housing developments between Main Street and Ann Arbor Saline Road in the southwest corner of the city. The park provides a sprawling green space with open fields and wooded natural areas. There are 3 pedestrian entrances to the park, 2 on Oak Brook Drive and 1 on Main Street. There are sidewalks along Ann Arbor Saline Road, Oak Brook Drive, and Main Street, so the park is accessible on foot from a variety of locations. An accessible paved path runs through the park, and there's a pedestrian bridge connecting the Main Street entrance. In the park, you'll find a play area, a half basketball court, a tennis court, picnic tables, and benches. You'll also find a small natural area with unpaved meandering trails. This natural area is a wetland where no trail maintenance can take place. Boots are encouraged as it can be wet and muddy. Explore at your own risk. For more information about Cranbrook Park or other city parks, visit a2gov.org/parkfinder.
The City of Ann Arbor has launched Ask Ann, a fully integrated and automated web chat assistant that helps people find information from the city 24/7. Ask Ann is built into a2gov.org, utilizing the technology behind large language models, or conversational artificial intelligence, which makes it easier for anyone to get quick answers to questions and find detailed information. Ask Ann understands and communicates proficiently in 71 different languages. To chat with Ask Ann, visit a2gov.org on a computer, tablet, or phone, and Ask Ann will appear on the bottom right section of your browser. Clicking the Ask Ann icon launches the chat window. Ask Ann also gives people the ability to message city staff if they can't get their question answered or are having difficulty. Want to know? Ask Ann.
Hello, my name is Andre Anderson, and I'm the police chief of the Ann Arbor Police Department. You know, each year, millions of sports fans transverse to our city to watch football. We want to be your place of destination. Thank you for being here, and thanks for being part of a winning culture.
Hi, I'm Deputy Chief Patrick McGuire. Are you looking for great drinks and a cold beverage? The Main Street Social District is a great place to explore our downtown area while enjoying an alcoholic beverage. There's also lots of great tailgates in the stadium area. Just remember, outside of the Social District, open alcohol is prohibited on public streets and sidewalks.
Hi, I'm Deputy Chief Jason Forsberg. From where to park to how to get around on game day, we've made it easy. Here's a QR code to help you navigate the city and provide helpful information as you travel to and from Michigan Stadium.
CTN at the Art Fair, Melissa Bondi, and I am talking with Barbara, who came all the way from Florida. She's a metalsmith, and she has got some beautiful artwork to show us. Welcome.
Thank you.
Now tell us, is this your first time here?
This is my first time here, yes. I came from Indian Harbor Beach, Florida, near Cocoa Beach. I spend a lot of time shelling and collecting my own seashells, and then I take them back to my studio. I draw a lot of my environment. I draw the movement of the sea, I draw sea creatures, and then I forge and fabricate them out of gold and silver. I'm using traditional metalsmithing techniques. I hand fabricate the settings, starting with sheets and wires. I use a torch, hand tools like files, saws. When I get to making the tentacles and things on my sea creatures, I hammer them out over an anvil like a blacksmith would. I work cold instead of hot, but they're all sculpted by hammering, and then they're refined through filing and sanding and polishing.
Oh my gosh, that is quite the process.
A lot of work, but I love doing it. I love doing it.
You love doing it. Well,
interesting.
clearly, because you've got some gorgeous stuff to show us. Let's talk a little bit about the necklaces that you have here.
Okay. For instance, this is a really good example of the kind of work I love to make. This is a jellyfish that I have forged and fabricated the metalwork for. I started with a green South African sea urchin shell. There's a natural opening in the center, so I used a piece of mother of pearl, which is also shell, framed in 14 karat gold with some swirly details. And then I drew all the metalwork to complete it and turn it into a little jellyfish or an octopus. They're all really abstract. I never make them to look like a specific creature. Like, I've never made an octopus with 8 tentacles. Okay. You know, but but people can see it. They're like, is that supposed to be a jellyfish or a squid? And that's sort of the fun of it, because it opens up a lot of conversations about people's travels, and a lot of people are divers. It's just been fun to learn about the folks that are interested in the work, as well as getting to make it and bring it to places like this.
It's so fun, that caught my eye because, like you said, I'm a diver as well, and so I've seen the octopus, I've seen the jellyfish, and when I saw this, I'm like, oh, I know what that is, of course. And then you integrate the shells with it, and it's beautiful.
It's really neat to get to work around the natural color and geometry in the seashells. They really give me a great jumping off point as far as what Mother Nature has already created. And it is the color it is the size and shape that it is, so then I have to figure out how to engineer it into a great looking piece.
Of course. What do you think is going to be the hot seller here this weekend?
I don't know. It's good. This is all going to be a big mystery to me, to see who likes what and who responds well. I do have a lot of things that are also not with seashells, a lot of gemstone rings and earrings that still evoke a lot of the movement of the ocean, but it doesn't have to always be a seashell. I'm just really kind of celebrating the landscape I get to see every day. I'm a lucky person.
You are. Well, welcome to Ann Arbor, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend.
All right, welcome back to the Ann Arbor Art Fair. I'm here with Ralph Rankin, an American surrealist artist. How you doing, Ralph?
Great, thank you. How are you?
Good, great. Glad to be here. Your art is beautiful and very surreal. Could you tell me a little bit about it?
Yes, I'm a photographer, and I take thousands and thousands of photographs, putting them together, creating urban surrealism. This one I started with the Capitol. I went to Virginia Beach, making it ocean front. The cirrus clouds lined up like the American flag. I photographed that in St. Pete, Florida. I photographed the street art from all over America, from Orlando, Dallas, St. Louis, Miami, the National Gallery. I bought some artwork off a 7-year-old girl. I spent $77,000 on action figures. Everything is real that I photographed. That's why they look three-dimensional.
Oh, wow. And can you explain maybe to our audiences who don't know what urban surrealism is?
Well, it's surrealism with an urban taste to it, with the street art and the action figures. So
like some pop culture stuff?
Urban photographs put together to create urban surrealism, and I use pop culture.
And how long have you been doing this for?
My MFA is in clay. I did ceramics for 40 years. I've been doing this for 11.
And how long have you been at the Ann Arbor Art Fair for?
Going back to my ceramics, I started 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and with this, I was a poster artist out here in 2015 with my artwork.
So you used to have ceramics up for sale. Oh, wow. And what made you change mediums?
Ceramics controls your life. It's very time consuming. You have to make everything one at a time. This, I can create the one piece and then sell editions of 250. So it gives me more free time.
Interesting. And how long does like one piece typically take?
Well, traveling all over the country, not counting going to St. Pete, Florida, Virginia Beach, the Capitol. I visit vintage toy stores all over the country, not counting taking the photographs, but putting them in an idea pile and then in Photoshop 90 hours.
And talk to me a little bit about some of your inspiration, I guess. What drew you to this type of imagery for your like own personal
It's stuff I grew up with and was having fun with. I drove that 1971 Carmen Ghia for 14 years. I drove that Volkswagen bus for 7. This is where I sit when I go to the beach, except all that stuff is not there. So, things I love.
Beautiful. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Ralph. Do you have anything that you want to, shout out or say to the city of Ann Arbor?
Love the city. Come see us. Peace and love, baby.
Peace and love, baby. From the Ann Arbor Art Fair.
You see everybody moving their feet, and it all starts.
Wow.
All starts with Rosenberg right there.
I love his cellies, too. The celebrations out of Rosenberg are awesome. He attacks from either side, and he puts everything into this shot.
We've seen him do this time and time again, and there he is coming around.
That's top cheddar, folks.
There you go. Here they haven't needed it, but there it plays off, and there's Rosenberg.
That's my 4th goal on the game, folks. He's pulling his own jersey. Love it.
That is another goal. Pinpoint shot by Levi Rosenberg.
I'm running out of cellies. I'm running out of cellies, guys.
No, they're not.
You wouldn't pee in a pool. Ew. Just like peeing in the pool, dumping waste or other things at home can find their way into our creeks, streams, and rivers, impacting everyone. You can help keep our waters clean. Pick up after your pets. Correctly dispose of paints and oils. Limit the use of fertilizers. Bag leaves or add them to a compost pile instead of leaving them in the street. Use native plants in rain gardens. Don't overuse detergents at home. and seek local disposal options for household hazardous waste, like a local home toxin center. Consult your municipality's or township's website for free drop-off days throughout the year. Just like you wouldn't pee in the pool, think about how what you do impacts those around you. To learn more about what you can do to protect local water, visit annarborwater.org.
If your dad was crossing, you'd stop. If your favorite Aunt Judy was crossing, you'd stop. If your high school biology teacher, Mrs. Jones, was crossing, you'd stop. If your next-door neighbor, Dan, was crossing, you'd stop. Even if someone dressed in a chicken suit was crossing because you love chickens, you'd stop. In Ann Arbor, we stop for pedestrians at crosswalks. Period. It's the law.
We're back, CTN at the Art Fair 2025, and I'm talking with Mason, who happens to be a local Ann Arborite, so that's kind of exciting. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so this is your first time here at the Art Fair?
That's correct. Second art fair. First was in East Lansing 2 months ago, but this is first time here.
Very cool. So tell us about the art that you brought this weekend.
So as a stained glass artist, it's a new medium for me. Less than a year doing it, but I don't consider even stained glass so much as just art. Utilizing glass, so it's a lot of painting, and then utilizing antique negatives. Might be able to see here.
I see it.
Some more here. So they were developed on glass. So that's over 100 years old. So it's a mixture of contemporary art, but using antiques.
Using antiques, okay. And give us an update. But tell us about this right here. This caught my eye. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, so this is would be considered a light box. I'll show you.
A light box, sure.
You know, when it's not lit, and then when it's, you know, it lights up. But so yeah, you got a cat skeleton and a rabbit skeleton. This is in an old industrial drawer. But yeah, so it's all lit from the inside.
Okay. Tell us how long you've been doing this.
I've been an artist my entire life, but for this stained glass, I think I started in October.
Oh my gosh, you just started.
So yeah, very
Not even a year.
Little time, yeah.
You've come a long way in
Thank you very much. Yeah,
that short amount of time.
Yeah, I don't even have everything out here, but
Yeah.
but yeah, I appreciate that. And once I'm into something, it's just that's all I want to do. So.
Okay. Yeah. Very cool. Well, thank you so much for talking with us. Good luck this weekend.
I appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
We'll be back with more.
We're here at the Ann Arbor Art Fair with Ann Caesar Marin. He's a sculpture artist, and he's got some really amazing work that really make your eyes pop when you see it. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself as an artist?
Yeah, I've been doing shows for over 15 years. I graduated from art school in South America, and I've been doing this for 40 years, 40 interesting years.
Where are you from?
Originally Colombia, South America. I now reside in the Miami area.
Well, because it's interesting because you have all these like pop culture Americana sort of feelings to your work.
Correct. It's very modern, and all my work has to do with a theme that's positive. You know, either goal achieving or something that's fun and very colorful. I like to make very colorful things.
Can you talk about yourself in Colombia and how was your art like this in Colombia, or did it sort of change when you came to Miami?
No, it actually changed. In Colombia, as I grew up, we were very conservative. So everything was brown, black, gray. Everything was kind of dogs, roosters, horses. Once I got here to America and I saw all the color and how modern this country was, I said, wow, there's something different. And that's how my whole career took off when I started learning from other artists and looking into what was the trend then.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, because when you think of well, first of all, when I think of South America, I think South America is colorful, but you're like Miami, whoa, it's vibrant.
It is. So now my work is very Miami, very, very Miami.
But it also fits so well in like this sort of Ann Arbor environment. It really just looks so, it stands out, but it in a beautiful way, and it's so fun.
Yeah, it's modern, it's art that's very contemporary. And I see right now that we are growing as a medium. Contemporary art is very much on style now. So times are changing for the art world.
Can you tell me, like, let's talk about the dogs. How do you make like your little puppies and your cats and stuff like that?
All right, so these I make an original first. The original I will make out of wax, or I can make it out of clay, depending on the piece that I'm gonna make. After that, I cut it into pieces. I create castings, and then they are casted in little pieces that are later put together.
And then the color, how do you do that color? Because that color is like what really, I mean, the pieces themselves are so precious. Like I was like, I'll take a dog and it can sit in the bathroom with me for sure. But like the color is really like brings it home.
Yeah, the colors are actually motorcycle paints that I airbrush onto the piece, and then I use a clear on top of that. So all my pieces can be inside or outside with no problem.
When you airbrush it, do you start with a certain color? You're like, okay, you start with the yellow because it's lighter and then add on, or how does that work?
No, I actually develop a system where I have about 7 different hoses going into the airbrush gun. So they do mix inside there, inside of the tip of the air gun, that's where they mix. Oh. So it's kind of it's uncontrollable when people ask me, okay, can I get a little bit more yellow here or there? It's impossible.
I actually like that it's up to the machine to kind of create that effect.
Correct, and it's not only the machine, it also has to do with humidity and moisture on the day I'm painting these pieces. So, like I say, it's something that will come out different all the time.
Talk about something like you have human figures, you have a lot of figure work. How did you get into that? What parlayed, you have your dogs and your cats and animals, and now you're doing humans too.
Yeah, as I was telling you before, these pieces here have to do with goal achieving. So it's something positive. In my mind, these are people achieving goals in life. It can be a school goal. I mean, right here we are in the middle of college, a university. So it's like, we have a lot of people trying to achieve a goal. So this is what it's all about. It's called goal achieving. In my mind, there are people achieving those goals.
Oh, you're such a positive person. What a beautiful outlook on life you have that really shines through in your art.
It has to do with my job. People always ask me, wow, 40 years. I never truly ever worked in my life. This is like a hobby, and I enjoy it 100%, and I actually get paid to do a hobby, so it's perfect.
It's amazing to think about how when you really truly love something, 40 years feels like 4 days.
It's correct. I have one daughter, a 27-year-old daughter. Now I look at her and I say, oh my God, where did time go? My time just goes by so quick. But again, it has to do with the fact that I enjoy what I do. I don't think about money. Money comes to me. And here you can see how much fun I have with my work.
Oh, don't worry, be happy.
That is it. That is it.
Do you have a website?
I do. My website is www.artby, and then my name, ANCI, Z as in zebra, AR.com. artbyandcaesar.com.
Well, thank you, Ann Caesar. I love talking to you, and I love your artwork, and I hope you have an amazing Ann Arbor Art Fair.
Thank you. Thank you guys for coming by. Thank you.